Hi everyone, thank you for joining me today. I am Natasha Bray. I'm a success mastery coach and healer for women who want to unlock something I call the ultimate up level, which is up leveling emotionally, financially, and spiritually for true success, wealth, and freedom. I'm here today with the amazing Hayley Merrick, and we're going to be talking about Hayley's incredible transformation that she's been on with me for the last 8 months, and this new amazing soul-aligned work that she's been doing, this new business that she's created that is incredible work that I really want you to learn about, because it's so powerful and so genius that more people need to know about Hayley's work and the work she's doing in the world. So Hayley is a soul and subconscious healer for spiritual and creative business owners. I'm just going to hand you over to Hayley to tell you a little bit more now about the work that she's doing. Over to you, Hayley.
Oh, hi everyone. Thanks, Natasha. So I'm Hayley, and as Natasha said, my work is as a soul and subconscious healer for spiritual and creative business owners. And really, I'm working with business owners that are ready to step into their brilliance. They are ready to reconnect with their soul purpose. They have done lots of healing. They've got an amazing business, but something just isn't feeling in alignment, and they're just not feeling that sort of passion and joy that they wish and deserve to be feeling. So I work with them really just to create more impact, doing what they love in their own unique way, and that's a key part of the work that I do with my clients. I provide sessions, one-to-one sessions during my new program, which is Wild Soul Evolution. It's a 6-week healing package, and it's a combination of subconscious therapy. It's energetic, ancestral, and past life healing. It's flower therapy. So that's soul and emotional healing with batch flowers and aromatherapy. And we also include powerful nature rituals to reconnect to Mother Nature. And really the focus is to rewild their soul and unleash their wild soul.
Yeah, wow. I love that. It sounds so powerful. And this is actually you've been on an 8-month journey with me in the Ultimate Uplevel Academy. So for anyone watching, that's where we heal the 4 success saboteurs that are stopping women from unlocking that ultimate up level. So more success financially, emotionally, and spiritually. And you came in with a very different business actually to what you're doing now. And this is quite a common thing that happens in the Ultimate Uplevel Academy. Tell us a little bit more about where you were before and what your business was 8 to 10 years ago.
Yeah, so there's been quite a few different evolutions. There's been lots of different branding, and very much like the work that I do now with my clients. I was enjoying it. I was booking clients, but it just wasn't. I kind of had that inkling that it wasn't my sole purpose. It was fertility. So I was working a lot more with fertility and womb healing, which I still do. I still work with the womb because it's such a creative energy, but my focus is very much more around womb healing and more sort of physical health, which was I came from my professional background was nursing. So it was almost a little bit like I was kind of doing the work that I was meant to be doing, because what would happen is clients would come to me for the fertility side of things, or for menopause or menstrual cycle stuff. But actually it was the deeper, it was the self-worth, it was unlocking creativity. So I was doing very different work to what I was actually advertising, really. It was kind of going a different way. And I would kind of try and market myself more in the sort of spiritual, the inner power and that kind of way, but then I would keep returning to health, and it was kind of like, because that was what I knew and that's what I did, but that wasn't, my soul wasn't in that work. That wasn't, I know now that like I've evolved, my business has evolved, and it was part of the journey, and it had been a big part of my journey personally. So I think not only from the professional point of view, but also from my journey point of view, it was quite hard to let go of that, because fertility had been a journey that I'd been on. It is something that I feel really passionate about. I could still talk about that all day long, but it's a new evolution now. It's new work, and it's very powerful, the work that I've been doing more recently.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people will resonate actually, that we can often hide behind the things that we feel safer talking about, but then the true magic comes out when something's working with you, and it's hard to communicate that for all of the reasons, especially the outcast success saboteur, where we're scared of being seen as more spiritual, more woo than we actually want people to know. But it sounds like you've unlocked your true soul purpose through that journey.
Yeah, definitely.
And felt safer to step into it, I guess.
Yeah, everything just feels sort of easy now. I don't have to think about content, it just appears. The same with my program. It was during the Wealth and Worth, innovation and intuition module that I was almost starting to think at the start of that module, like it was my final module. I was kind of thinking, like, am I going to be the only one that this doesn't work for? Like, I didn't feel like I knew that I'd had the shifts at home, from a personal point of view, and things had definitely changed. I was feeling a lot better, but I was kind of like, where's the big shift? When's that going to happen? Like, is it not going to work for me? And then just all of a sudden, first of all, I came up with the flower therapy came through. And I was like, oh, okay, yeah. Went on a bit of a deeper journey with the flower remedies that I work with, but it still didn't feel right. It still didn't feel right. And then out of nowhere came Wild Soul Evolution, and it was like, yes, this is the thing. This is what I've been waiting for.
Yeah. And so you began the academy with Wealth and Worth Mastery. Is that right? Or was it what was that, sorry?
The Outcast, I think we began.
Oh yeah. Visibility. So you began with that one, and you ended with intuition and innovation, which is the healing of the imposter success saboteur. It's hard to know because everyone has a stronger saboteur. Of course, it's hard to know which one's the most powerful part of the academy because it's different for everyone. Like the biggest is in different places for everyone. But tell us a little bit about. So you've had these amazing shifts in your business. You've really unlocked your true purpose. Content's flowing really easily. What drew you to becoming part of the Ultimate Uplevel Academy in the first place? What was it about it that you thought, oh, this might help me in some way?
Yeah. So really I just knew that I had to get out of my own way. I'd got so sick and tired of just going around in circles and trying new things and thinking, this is the thing, and then it just not feeling aligned. So I'd followed you for a while. I'd had Heart Healing with Kirsty, and I'd done the sort of the lower cost webinars, some of the freebies, and I'd had shifts, and I knew that your work really resonated with me, and I knew it was really powerful for me. But I also knew that I had to commit, and I had to take that leap. And I was on, I forget which one it would have been to lead into the first module, but I was on the free webinar, and it was like one of those it's now or never kind of moments. I just thought, right, I'm in the next cohort. I wrote on my vision board that I was going to be interviewed by you, and it was going to happen. And I actually wasn't in the position to join. I know I wasn't in the position to join at all, and a couple of different things aligned, which meant that I was able to join. And yeah, that was really the reason. I just knew that I had to really just step it up. I had to really commit and almost take a little step back from business just to really go into the healing side of things. And yeah, that was really what drew me. I'd done all the mindset, I'd done the money mindset, I'd done the strategy, I'd done the business stuff, like thrown in thousands at all that stuff, and I knew what to do. And it was just really frustrating, that feeling sort of blocked of like, I know what to do, I know how to build a business theoretically, and it just wasn't working, it wasn't aligned. And the healing has definitely been what's unlocked that for me.
Yeah. And I will say you showed up, you did module, I think every call you were on, you really dedicated yourself to undergoing that transformation, not just for your business, of course, because that healing impacts everything. Tell us a bit about the shifts you had in you personally and in your relationships.
So for me personally, it was very much what you mentioned. So for many years now, I've talked about crystals, I've talked about healing, and I really felt that I was out there owning that side of me, and I realized that I really wasn't. And there was people that knew me very well, that when I actually started to step into the work that I'm now doing were like, oh, I didn't know you were spiritual. I didn't know you did all this stuff. I've actually had people that I've known from school sort of say, I didn't know this about you. And I was like, I've literally gone full circle, and I'm now talking about the stuff that I was talking about back in 2018 and 19. And I was doing it then, but just not owning it and just probably hiding it. I would hide my posts on, like, I wouldn't post on my personal profile. I would be really embarrassed. I'd panic if anybody that I knew from like real life saw my stuff. Didn't even tell my mum. I trained in hypnotherapy, and actually, because my biggest saboteur is definitely hustler. So because I'd trained in so many modalities, I'd done so much, I actually didn't tell anyone that I'd qualified, and I felt really quite embarrassed. I thought, God, another qualification. I'm still not where I want to be. It's like, oh gosh, this is just getting so embarrassing. So I actually only recently told my mum the type of work that I do with things like past lives, and she was just blown away. She couldn't believe that I trained in that and not told her. And also, from a more personal point of view, it was the realization, I think it was during Lead and Love, that I realized that I'd done a lot of work, I'd done a lot of healing, and it had all been about business, and I hadn't related the healing and what I'd learned to being a mother. So I felt I was becoming more and more confident with business and visibility and getting out there, but I was actually really, really nervous, anxious, filled with guilt about being a mother, and I'd kind of almost just accepted that as, this is what it's like to be a mum. It's hard, and that's it. And when I had that realization, it was almost overnight. I started to say a couple of affirmations, which I don't believe that affirmations will work without the healing. So obviously the healing had happened. It was the realization, and that has literally changed my life in such a huge way, because it's freed up so much energy, both in terms of just at home, within my relationship with my husband. I'm just more relaxed. I'm not stressing. We had a very difficult few years personally in the family, and I don't think that helped, but I think that was it was fundamentally me as a person. I'd always been an anxious, overthinking type person. And while I'd made the sort of big strides in terms of business and personal development, doing that for motherhood was huge. And I believe that's really impacted not only being a mother, my relationships, but also business as well.
Yeah, I love that. Getting space. Yeah, sure on that. And when we heal ourselves, it doesn't just impact our business, and that is it's very much that approach to whole life success.
Yeah.
Holistic approach, I guess, that happens when we do the deep healing. And what changed in how you felt about yourself, would you say?
I accepted myself, and I'd always logically known that I was doing enough, more than enough. I knew that logically, but it was almost like an embodied, yes, I'm enough in motherhood, in business, just in general. I'm enough, and stepping into that energy, and forgiveness, I think, because we're never going to be perfect. And again, I knew that logically, and I could tell myself that, but it was actually that, yes, I'm enough. I can let go of feeling guilty, and I think what you said is so true about it, the ripple, and it heals. So obviously that's healing for my son. So actually things got a little bit easier in terms of the stuff that we were going through, and I also think that the healing has rippled out to my mum, because my mum will now say things that I've never heard her say, and we've had conversations that have just never happened before, and she seems a lot more relaxed. And yeah, I think it's been huge for all of us. I've been able to say things that I hadn't said before, and talk about me and myself that I'd always kept private.
Yeah.
Some nice, lovely conversations have happened. It's been really nice.
And as I say, when we heal ourselves, we heal the world, and our world, and everyone who's in that world is positively impacted by our courage to heal, because it does take courage. It's not like a walk in the park. We don't just ease in. We dive straight into the deep work, and it isn't easy necessarily, but it is worth it. for the impact that it has on you and on your business and on your loved ones as well. Can you tell us a little bit about business then? So how has it changed sort of like things financially for you?
Yeah, so the biggest thing has been the fact that I realised what a massive hustler I was. Yes, I did lots of self-care and looked after myself in many ways, but I was fundamentally a huge hustler. So I was always online, I was always tinkering, and that stopped because I'm standing in my power. I've got, my brand is just my brand now. It's easy. So that's freed up a lot of time. I'm not constantly on the laptop. I actually take time off. I've joined a yoga membership that I'd kept saying was too expensive, and yet I'd spend double on business memberships and then not use them, for example. So I now go off, I go and practice yoga. I do a lot more walking in nature, and that's where I'm getting my ideas. So that's been huge, you know, getting that intuition. But not only that, again, something that I knew logically was the more you hustle, the more you push things away. So now it's getting bookings when I'm on holiday. I was away last week and actually got bookings in. And I'd also, because I work online, but I also have a countryside therapy room where I provide reflexology and my wildflower healing, which is a 2.5-hour package. And I just doubled the price. I knew it was hugely underpriced. It was initially £75. Then I put it up to 111 as a special offer, an intro offer, and then it just stayed there. And then I suddenly just thought, no, it needs to, the price is 222, and that was the booking that came in last week when I was on holiday.
So of tripled your prices.
Yeah,
having sales out of the blue while you're on holiday with ease. This is the dream, isn't it? Yeah. And this is only the beginning as well. I know there's so much more to come. And you're working a lot less and having better boundaries around work and life.
Yeah, and just getting things, like you say, just appear. So people dropping into my inbox asking to work with me, people just saying that my content's really resonating, just sending, you know, I'm getting messages every day from people saying I'm just loving your content. So that's huge. Yeah, and considering I'm working such a lot less, I was literally, since my little boy went to nursery, I'd just get up, I'd sit at my laptop, and that would be the day. And I just felt like I'd never got time, hadn't got time for anything. I'd do personal development in the evening. Whereas now I can take time in the day without that guilt and without that panic of thinking I'm not going to get sales, because it's just so much easier now.
It's like when you're fully aligned with what you're meant to be doing and no longer hiding, no longer sabotaging.
Yeah.
Just does happen with ease. It's like almost like magic, isn't it, in a way? But a lot of work's gone into that. You know, time, healing and dedication. Definitely. But this is, I guess, what alignment is, alignment with your soul calling.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's exciting.
What would you, yeah, it really is. And as I say, I know this is the beginning now, and this is just a snowball effect for you. And it was very curious that you mentioned also, like, you almost got to the point where you were experiencing inner shifts, but not as much of the business shifts until then it, like, in the last part of the academy for you. And everyone has that different place where they, you've got to try not to compare yourself to others and really just focus on your own journey. But yes, you had that as well. And it really is like that compound effect of all of the different layers of the work you're doing. What would you say was the most transformational part of the academy for you?
I think the most transformational I've had to pick, which is, it's kind of hard, but ultimately I think it was healing the hustler, because that has been the ripple for everything else. It's hard to pick because the outcast, again, so huge, being able to step into my power and step into that sort of feeling, that embodiment. But yeah, I think if I'd have had that side of it, but still being hustling away, I wouldn't be getting the benefits. So I think ultimately the hustler has been so important, to just be able to step away and trust, you know, healing that trust that things are happening.
Yeah, and the hustler is Welcome with Mastery. So it's healing the hustler saboteur. Allows you to not be working all the time and actually have receive with more ease. So you've definitely unlocked that for sure. What do you think was different about the academy then? Because you're not new to personal development. You've done a lot of personal development, business strategy, mindset? What do you think it was about the academy that helped you? Almost it was like that missing link, I guess.
Yeah, it's definitely the subconscious element, the depth, I think, of the subconscious, because I've done subconscious work and hypnotherapy before, but it was that depth, the depth of the healing, and combined with everything else. So combined with the strategy, combined with, like I said before, I'd done so much money mindset, and it hadn't touched the surface. It was really getting to the core, which I think the academy helped me to do, is really getting to the core of like the wounds and healing those wounds. And I think also just stepping into that container was huge, and actually trusting myself that it wasn't just going to be another poor investment, and I wasn't going to, be the only one that it didn't work for. That was huge, just in itself. And the fact that I can revisit and go back over, and it's kind of skills for life, isn't it? There's always going to be new levels.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it was the combination of the depth of the healing along with the business side of things as well. Yeah. And I think the permission, the huge thing was the permission that I thought I'd given myself, but the permission that you unlocked with the innovation and intuition module of actually really going within to create my offers. I thought I was doing that, but I wasn't. Not to the level that it's now happening. So that was huge.
I'm so happy for you, and you should be really proud of yourself, because you have, as I know, you have fully committed to making this happen. The magic was in you, and the UUA was just a catalyst to helping that come out.
Yeah.
And for anyone who's watching this and they're like, well, I really like your energy, Hayley, I'd love to look at your wild soul evolution stuff and see if that could be for me. Where can they go?
Yeah, so I'm mainly over on Instagram. So it's Hayley Merrick _. I'm just at the moment promoting, I'm doing a free event in September. So it's a celebration for equinox. So there's links on my Instagram to sign up for that. And that's going to be a soul journey into the forest, meeting your animal guide, and celebrating, as I say, the equinox as well. So really excited about that.
Amazing. Thank you, Hayley. Thank you for...
Oh, I should tell you my website as well, shouldn't I? It is there on my Instagram, but it's wildflowertherapies.co.uk.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for sharing all of that, Hayley. And if there's like a number one piece of advice you could give anyone watching who might be where you were before, what would that advice be?
So just sign up, get out of your own way and find a way to step up and commit to yourself, commit to your healing, and to trust, and to go with the process. Just follow the steps and really commit to it. Yeah.
Amazing. Yeah, thank you so much for sharing all of that. And if Wealth and Myth Mastery or the Ultimate Uplevel Academy interests you, we are currently enrolling people for that now. So just pop me a message with UUA on, and I'll share all the information with you. Thank you, Hayley.
Thank you. Bye.